What's up, everybody? We are live on, I think, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. No, Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Do me a favor. I had some audio difficulties last week, so do me a favor and type yes. What am I doing here? Oops. Do me a favor and type yes in the chat if you can hear me. Let's see. Go over to comments here. Cool. So type yes in the chat or type I can hear you in the chat or something, just so I know that you guys can hear me. And then also there's going to be a link in the description somewhere, because right now I see, if you see this, it actually says Facebook user. So one person said yes, and then I got another one, Facebook user. Now check this out. Alex Marie, who actually happens to be Alex from our team. Everybody type hi, Alex, in the chat. Now, Alex clicked on the link that's in the description that allows StreamYard to capture your name and your picture. Chase has done the same thing. You can see that popped up there. So do me a favor. So Nancy Delane, what's up, Nancy? How's it going, Nancy? Haven't seen you for a while. I usually only see you on our events. Well, anyway, you can see right here it says hi, Alex, Nancy Delane, but we can't see that it says Nancy Delane. We just see Facebook user. So if you go and click on the link that's in the description, I think what's going to happen is it's going to allow us to capture so that you can be just like Rachel South, and you can be just like Chase Muster, and you can just be like Alex Marie and all these other cool people who we can actually see your names, right? So what we're doing with these Q&As is every week I'm kind of just coming on here live to share new information for you guys. And just kind of some cool stuff that I think you guys will really enjoy. So today's topic is going to be negative reviews, and specifically how you can use negative reviews to get clients, right? So a lot of times people think that a negative review is the absolute end of the world. So I'm going to show you not only that negative reviews are actually helpful, but I'm going to show you how you can use them to get clients. Now, before we come in here, before we get started, we're going to wait like one more minute for people to get started. So by the way, let me know, do you guys have any plans for Halloween or anything like that? Hey, are you guys too old to dress up? I actually just got my son just got a costume. It's milk and cookies. So my son, who is 7, he's going as cookies, and my wife, who happens to be vegan, is going as the milk side of it. And it's funny because she's going to modify the whole thing so it's actually almond milk, because we don't really, well, they don't do dairy in the house. I do dairy, but some people in our house don't do dairy. So, but yeah, let me know. Alex says what does Alex say? She says, I have the best Halloween couples costume. What is it? What is it, Alex? What's the costume? Does anyone else have a Halloween costume? I want to know what Alex's costume is. Cool. So we're got people coming in here. All right. So we're going to jump right into this and talk about negative reviews, how you can use them to get clients. Now, just a reminder, we are live every Wednesday at 1:30 Eastern, and these things go anywhere from 15 minutes to 45 minutes and maybe an hour. We went an hour one week. But I'm going to have to wait for the reveal. Alex says, for her costume, I'm going to have to wait for the reveal until 10:31. All right. So I guess I'll have to wait for Halloween. So, all right. One person said, I think I'll have to go as a videographer since that's what I'm becoming. I think that means that they're doing a lot of videos to grow their law firm, which is awesome. That's what I support. So again, we do this every week, 1:30 Eastern. And guys, don't forget, we've got a major event coming up in December 14th, 15th, and 16th called New Me 2023. And basically what we're going to be doing on this is we are going to be helping you plan 2023 so that you can actually have the best year that your law firm has ever had in 2023. Now, you guys have to get tickets. They're only $1 right now. Like, you guys got to do this. We are going to have Rex Paris on here, and we are so close, like this close to confirming our major speaker at New Me 2023. Now, I can't tell you who it is yet because we don't have the contract signed, and I think they'll sue us if we say it. But I'll say in the past, let's see, a couple weeks ago, we had Alex Rodriguez, A-Rod. We had Jillian Michaels. We've had Kevin O'Leary. We've had Damon John. We've had Jocko Willink. We've had Magic freaking Johnson. Like, we've had some major people on here. So get your ticket. They're only $1. Now, here's a hack. Make sure that you upgrade to the VIP option, because during the VIP option, you get 4 extra hours of Q&A with me where you can literally ask me any questions. And my partner, Bill, he'll be on here also. You can ask us any questions about growing your law firm, scaling your law firm, all that type of stuff, so that you can make 2023 your best year ever. And here's the deal. We're not talking about New Year's resolutions, right? New Year's resolutions get broken on average by January 17th. This is actually showing you how to put a plan together that is going to allow your law firm to grow by 81% at least. Like that's the average. The average client that works with us grows their law firm by 81%. It's nuts. And it's not because we're magicians. It's because we have a simple formula that we actually follow that is proven that works, right? All right. So the actual date is, somebody said, what is the actual date? The date is December 14th, 15th, and 16th. It's a 3-day event. And this user said, I don't know who, it's Nancy. Nancy's been to a few of our events. She said it is well worth the investment. Definitely make sure you get your tickets. It's only $1. And here's the deal. If you guys go, if you upgrade to VIP, because that's where you need to be. You need to be in VIP. If you upgrade to VIP and you don't get any value whatsoever, send me an email, Andy at smbteam.com, and I will personally refund your money. That's how confident I am in this, because and by the way, we've never had anyone ask for a refund because it's fire. The content that we put out is absolute fire. And as Nancy said, it's well worth the investment. So, okay, somebody said the link. What does that say? The link in the overview is wrong. Please post the updated link. All right, so our team will get that handled, the updated link. All right, guys, so let's talk about negative reviews. Negative reviews. Everybody is afraid of negative reviews. In fact, if you've ever gotten a negative review, or if you've never sent out, or if you've avoided sending a review request because you're afraid of getting a negative review, drop me a me in the chat. So I can see if you guys have actually had this happen before. And it's actually very, very common. It's actually the number one thing that I hear from lawyers is that I don't send out review requests because I'm afraid of getting a negative review. We got some me's coming in the chat right now. Now, here's the interesting thing. Negative reviews are not bad. They're actually an opportunity. Most people don't realize this. Most people are just afraid of negative reviews. But the reality is that negative reviews validate your positive reviews. There was a statistic done that 66% of people don't believe the reviews when they're 100% positive. So what that means is that you actually need negative reviews so that people will believe that your positive reviews are actually real. And if you don't have them, then what's going to happen is 66% of people are going to go to your Google business profile. They're going to say, oh, this law firm has 100% negative, has 100% positive reviews. I don't trust them. These are probably fake. And why is that? It's because nobody's perfect, right? Law firms are run by people. Nobody's perfect. People are fallible. I think that's the word, right? Not infallible. People are not infallible. They make mistakes, right? So negative reviews are just a reflection that you're a real law firm run by real people. Now, the thing that will make you or break you isn't the negative review. It's how do you respond to that negative review? How do you respond? There's a book called Hug Your Haters. It's written by a guy named Jay Baer. And he, in the book, he says to get fewer one-star reviews, you must get more one-star reviews. Now, what does that mean? That means that when you get a one-star review, that is actually valid feedback, assuming it's something that is actually going to give you constructive feedback on your law firm. There's two types of reviews. One is the crazies, right? Have you ever type crazies in the chat if you've ever gotten a review from somebody, a review from your law firm from somebody who you've never even heard of, right? You just have no clue who they are. And for some reason, they're just leaving you a review. I see that happen a lot of times with our clients. Like it's weird. People just don't like lawyers for some reason. I'm not really sure why that is. Actually, it's funny. I have this saying. I didn't come up with this, but I've heard everybody hates lawyers until they need a lawyer, right? So there's the crazies. Those are kind of difficult, right? But I'm going to tell you at the end of this exactly how you respond to the crazies and everyone else, right? Now, there are times when people leave reviews, negative reviews, that actually have a valid complaint, right? And what's interesting is that if you look at these reviews, the first natural inclination to do, the first thing you want to do typically is you want to respond quickly, because somebody just called your baby ugly, right? But the reality is what you need to do is you need to stop and you need to take a breath and you need to ask yourself, is the reviewer actually correct? Are they actually telling me something that maybe I don't want to hear, but is really an issue? So for example, we had a client one time who somebody left a review and they said, your intake staff is very, very rude. They called and the person to the front desk actually hung up on them, right? Well, the lawyer didn't know that was happening, but somebody left a review and he was able to go in, he was able to fix that issue, right? Because what's interesting is that when you get negative feedback, if you actually go and you fix the issues that people are talking about, then you can improve your law firm. That's why Jay Baer says to get fewer negative reviews, you need to get more negative reviews, right? Because you can identify the problem. There's something called the delivery gap, and it's really, really interesting. And Forrester surveyed a bunch of businesses, like thousands of businesses, and they found that 80% of the businesses believed that they provided superior customer service to their clients, right? The 80% of businesses is laughable, right? But really 80% of businesses thought that. However, they then surveyed the customers of those same businesses, and only 8%, that's a single digit, 8 believed that they actually received superior customer service from those companies, right? So that's called the delivery gap, where the company thinks they're doing an amazing job, and I mean, the majority of companies, like the overwhelming majority of companies, think they're doing an amazing job. But the reality is the customers don't think so. Now, here's the other thing that's interesting. When you get a negative review, one negative review, that represents 19 other people, because only 5% of people will actually complain publicly. So if somebody calls and says, this person was rude, or I didn't like this, or this happened, or whatever it is, you can bet that there's other people that have also had that same experience. In fact, they say that one negative review represents 20 people, because most people don't complain publicly. What do most people do? They don't complain publicly, but they go and they tell their friends and their family, right? In fact, each negative review, typically when somebody has a negative experience with a business, they will tell 12 other people. So that means that when you get one negative review, that potentially could be felt by 240 people, right? So if you don't fix that problem, right? So that's why you want to make sure that when you get a negative review, you're stopping and you're asking, is the customer or is the client or the lead or whoever it is, are they actually right? Is there legitimately a problem? I remember when I wrote the book 5-Star Attorney, I interviewed John Fisher, and John Fisher is a personal injury attorney. A lot of people know who John Fisher is, but what happened is he's got a personal injury law firm and they do wrongful death, and he's got a great law firm. But what happened was they dropped the ball on the probate side of a wrongful death case, and they got a negative review because of it. And John just didn't really realize that was happening. So he got a great result on the personal injury side, or the wrongful death side. But then on the estate planning side, they completely dropped the ball for that same client. And that client was upset to the point that he left a 1-star review. So that allowed John to understand, oh, wow, I need to fix this. So he hired an estate planning attorney specifically to handle the probate side of things. And now they get 5-star reviews in that area as well, right? But had that client not complained, had they not gone on Google and left a 1-star review, John never would have even noticed that, or would not have known that they needed to hire this estate planning attorney so that they can continue to provide excellent service, right? So it's super, super interesting. Now, let me ask you a question. Give me a yes or a no in the chat. Do you respond to all negative reviews? Like, do you personally respond to all negative reviews? Or, maybe you have negative reviews on your Google business profile or your Yelp profile or somewhere else, maybe your Avo profile, that have not been responded to. Type I do if you have negative reviews that have not been responded to. Let me see if we have any comments coming in here. Well, anyway, I'm going to wait for you guys to leave some comments. But here's the thing. You really, really, really need to respond not just to negative reviews, but all reviews on your Google business profile, and write a heartfelt response, like not just a thanks, but a response to all reviews. That includes negative reviews. I know it sucks, but you have to respond to every single negative review, because you have to remember, no response is a response in itself, right? Now, we have also found that there is a correlation in a decrease in Google rankings if you have a high percentage of non-responded to negative reviews. I know that's kind of a weird metric, but we've seen that with our own clients. When clients have a high percentage of negative reviews that have not been responded to, that could actually hurt you in your Google ranking. So you want to make sure that you respond to every single review. And I'm going to show you in a few minutes how you can respond to every single Google review very, very easily. And it's cool because like what's interesting is that a lot of times if you look at negative reviews the right way and you treat them the right way and you handle them the right way, then you can actually increase advocacy. You can actually turn a negative review into a positive review. When I was writing the book 5-Star Attorney, I interviewed Dan Newland, who actually we haven't announced yet, but he actually might be making an appearance at the New Me 2023 boot camp. Little Easter egg out there. But Dan Newland has almost 11,000 Google reviews. Like, that's absolutely insane. 11,000. And he has 16,000 active cases right now. He's a personal injury attorney in Orlando. Somebody type 11,000 in the chat if you guys can hear me right now. So what he told me is that when he obsesses over his Google reviews, whenever he gets a negative review, what he does is he will actually drive to the client's house and sit down at their kitchen table and talk to them about it. Like, it's insane, right? So he actually drives to their house. He sits down, and this is a guy who's got, 16,000 active cases. He doesn't have to do this, but he does that. He goes to their house, he sits down, and he has a conversation with them. And what he told me is that almost every single person that has a negative review after he leaves changes it to a 5-star review. And what they say is that they say, Mr. Newland, if your attorney or your staff or your paralegal or whoever it was would have explained the situation to me the way that you explained it to me, we never would have had a problem, right? So a lot of times when you're getting negative reviews and things like that, a lot of times it's a communication issue, right? So if you focus on that, focus on providing really, really good communication, you can usually avoid a lot of these negative reviews. But what happens is a lot of times when they work it out, they'll turn it into a 5-star review, and then they actually will refer people to his law firm, right? There's a saying that there's no zealot like a convert, right? So previously dissatisfied clients can be your absolutely best promoters once you turn it around. All right. So that's a good lesson there. If you get a negative review, the first thing you want to do is you want to reach out to the client and see if you can actually work it out with them. Some people you can't, some people are just pissed, but a lot of times you might be able to. And then when that happens, you just turned a 1-star review into a 5-star review. So you can try to do that right now. Here's how you can make negative reviews irrelevant. And this is something that, a lot of times, people are so afraid of negative reviews. But the reality is, if you have a lot of positive reviews, then your negative reviews become irrelevant, right? Have you ever seen like at a football game where let's say you're at like the New York Jets, right? And then you look, and then there's like these 2 Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Awesome. Somebody signed up for the boot camp. Let's put it up here. Somebody signed up for the boot camp. Sweet. All right. Everybody else sign up for the boot camp. So have you ever watched a football game and there's like, it's like the Jets, right? And there's they show the stands, and there's entire Jets fan, there's entire stadium full of Jets fans. And then there's 2 guys wearing like a Steelers jerseys, right? They feel awkward, right? So what happens is that if you are constantly getting 5-star review, 5-star review, 5-star review, 5-star review, then what's going to happen is when somebody has a negative experience, they're going to go to your Google business profile. They're going to try to leave a 1-star review, and then they're going to look and they're going to see, holy crap, they've got all these 5-star reviews. Like, what did I do wrong? How did I feel like why did I have a bad experience and everyone else had a great experience? Like, am I the jerk? Like, now, not everyone will do this, but some people will be dissuaded by this. Again, nothing I say is absolute, but this will reduce the number of 1-star reviews you get because nobody will believe them, right? It's just, if they go to a law firm, they got 551 or 5-star reviews. A lot of times people will be dissuaded because you have to remember, everybody wants to do what everybody's doing and nobody wants to do what nobody's doing. And that's a philosophy for life. That's a philosophy for everything, including Google reviews, right? So I call it negative review insurance. The way you get negative review insurance is by getting a lot of 5-star reviews, by having just an overwhelming number of 5-star reviews. Now, here's the other thing. Math is also in your favor when you have a lot of 5-star reviews. So, for example, let's say you have 3 5-star reviews and you have 2 negative reviews. Well, if that's the case, then that's going to give you a 3.8 rating, right? It's going to be 3.8 star rating, which is not a very good rating. That's going to get you a lot. That's not going to get you many phone calls. Now, imagine if you have 90 5-star reviews and 10 1-star reviews. That's going to get you a 4.6 rating, and that'll get you a lot of phone calls. 4.6 is a good enough rating to get you a lot of phone calls, even though you have 5 times as many negative reviews as the firm that the three positive, 2 negative, right? So what happens is that when you get a lot of 5-star reviews, then it brings the weight of every single 1-star review down much, much lower. We had a personal injury attorney client a long time ago. Actually, it wasn't that long ago. It was about a year ago. No, it was like 2. Since the pandemic, time has kind of like been weird. I'd say it's like 2 years ago. And basically what happened was he's a very, very well-known, very prominent attorney. And he went into a restaurant across the street from his office, and he got into an argument with the hostess. And the hostess at the restaurant. And I don't know what happened. I heard his side of the story. I don't know what really happened. But basically what happened was they got into this big argument. The bartenders were yelling at him. Everybody's yelling at him. And he got kicked out of the restaurant. And then the next day, he had 21 negative reviews on his Google business profile. Now, 21 negative reviews would really, 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 really suck, except for the fact that this guy has like 700 Google reviews, all 5 stars. Well, not all 5 stars, but the majority of which of 5 stars. And it took him from like a 4.9 to like a 4.8, right? Now, most law firms, if you get 21 negative reviews, that is going to absolutely decimate your phone calls, because when you are in the Google business, when you're in the maps for your Google business profile, the most important thing that you can have is, first of all, at least 4.5 shaded stars, which means you've got over a 4.5 rating. And then once you have that, once you have over 4.5, then you need to have the highest number of reviews in the 3-pack. And we've seen this, we've proven this over and over again, that if you have the highest number of reviews in the Google 3-pack and you have 4.5 shaded stars or more, then you're going to get the phone calls before everybody else. It doesn't matter if you're ranked number 1, number 2, number 3. So what ends up happening, though, is that because of the fact that he had so many reviews, these negative reviews didn't really hurt him. He had negative review insurance, and it was so difficult to move him off of that. So he was freaking out about it. And I was like, look, at the end of the day, it sucks. It really doesn't matter, though, because the only thing that really matters is that rating and the number of reviews that you have, right? So it's super important, because now I'm not saying, most of you are probably not going to go into a restaurant and get into a fight with the hostess and the bar staff and the wait staff and the owner, but you also could be targeted by competitors. You could have a crazy client. Like, there's all kinds of things that could happen that you need to protect yourself from the potential that you get a review that really knocks you down. We have another client. He's a family law attorney out in he's in outside of LA, and he only has 27 reviews. And I keep telling him, get more reviews, get more reviews, get more reviews, get more reviews, and he just doesn't do it. And then what happens is he ends up getting 1 or 2 negative reviews. And this guy ranks number 1 for like everything you could dream of. His phone's ringing off the hook. But then what happens is he'll go out and he'll get 2 or 3 negative reviews. And that takes him from having 4.5 shaded stars to having 4 shaded stars, or even 3.5 shaded stars. Because when you only have 27 reviews, 3% or 3 reviews can swing you one way or the other, right? So what happens is his phone stops ringing. So he calls us, and this happens every single year. Like, it's like clockwork. He calls us, oh, my phone's not ringing. What's happening? I don't know what's going on. I'm going to go out of business. And I look at his thing. I say, look, you got a bunch of negative reviews. Go get some 5-star reviews. So he gets like 4 or 5 5-star reviews, and then he shoots back up, and his phone turns back on just like it never turned off, right? Now, if he was smart, he would continue getting 5-star reviews, so this doesn't happen every year. But I'm not saying he's not smart, but he's just not getting reviews. Let's just put it that way, right? But that's how important it is, right? And that's why you need this negative review insurance, because it's all about your star rating and it's all about your number. Now, let's talk about responding to negative reviews, because responding to negative reviews is how you can really make a lot of money with reviews, right? Now, everybody needs to go out and write this down. Don't do it right now, but go to YouTube and search Amy's Baking Company. Search the Gordon Ramsay show. What was that show called? Kitchen Nightmares. Amy's Baking Company, right? That will tell you exactly how not to answer reviews. It's a masterclass in how to destroy your business and look like the jerk and not do customer service, right? So when you get a negative review, as I said, somebody just called your baby ugly, but it's important that you don't respond emotionally. What you want to do is you want to take a breather and think for a second. First of all, think, is this person actually right? Do they maybe have a point? Because it may suck to hear, but maybe they're right. right? And if they're right, that's fantastic. You can go and fix the problem, right? But you don't want to respond emotionally, right? Now, it's funny. I gave this advice one time, and a lawyer was like, "No, you need to fight back you need to fight back against these people, and you need to, push back and tell them they're wrong and call them idiots and all that type of stuff." I was like, and his argument is that people want a lawyer that is going to fight for them, a lawyer that's going to be a fighter, right? And I agree. People want a lawyer that is a fighter. They don't want a lawyer that fights with their clients, right? There's a difference in between being an advocate and being an a-hole, right? You don't want to be the latter. Trust me, right? Because you always no matter what you say, even if you're right, even if they actually are lying, even if they actually are a jerk, even if they are an idiot, even if they're wrong, you are the one that's going to look bad, right? Think about football. Who gets the hit? Who gets the penalty? Is it the initial cheap shot hit, or is it the retaliation? It's always the retaliation that gets the penalty, right? It's just like reviews. So you don't want to be the a-hole. So now here's what you want to do. When you want to respond, you always want to respond. And when you respond, you want to remember that the response that you write is not for the reviewer. It's not for them. Most of the time, like 99% of the time, they are not even going to read it. It's for the thousands of people that are going to go to your Google business profile over the next, 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Who knows how long it's going to be around? It's for all those people that are going to see that negative review and see how you responded to it, right? Now, I have a model that I use called the tiers model, and I have this listed in 5-Star Attorney. If anyone wants to get a 5-Star Attorney for free, you can get it at getlawfirmreviews.com. That's a book I wrote completely dedicated to growing your law firm using social proof, using reviews, all that type of stuff. There's a model called the tiers model. Now, the first part of the tiers model is thanking them for their feedback. And this is a formula that is in 5-Star Attorney. We got scripts, all that type of stuff in there. So the first part, the T in tiers, is thank them for their feedback. Because again, if they're actually giving you constructive feedback on your law firm, they are helping you. Eventually, they will help you make more money because you'll fix that problem, and then you'll go on to have more satisfied clients, and they'll leave you 5-star reviews, and then that will lead to more clients, which is more 5-star reviews. It's a snowball effect, right? So, T, thank them for their feedback. So when somebody leaves you a negative review, always start with something like, thank you so much for taking the time to provide your feedback to our firm. We take all feedback, both positive and negative. We take it very, very seriously. Now, the next thing, the E in tiers, is empathize with their situation, right? You want to basically let them know that we understand that you're frustrated. So based on your feedback, we understand there's some frustration that is coming from your end. And we apologize for that frustration, right? And that's the A in tiers. Apologize for the frustration. Don't apologize that you're wrong. Don't admit that you're wrong, but just apologize that they're frustrated, because there is some frustration on their end, and it was caused by your law firm, whether you like it or not. So empathize for the situation and apologize for the frustration. Based on your comments, we understand that you're extremely frustrated with the situation, and we apologize that this situation is happening. The next thing, R, resolve. Show a willingness to resolve. So then what you want to do is you want to say something like, we'd love to hop on the phone with you, and we'd love to talk to you about the situation and see if we can come to an amicable resolution, right? So you want to invite them to find a resolution. And then the last S in tiers, S stands for switch channels. So then he was like, please contact me at the office, send me an email, shoot me a text message, give me a call, and we'll put a time on the calendar that we can sit down, discuss the situation, and work out a resolution that is amicable to both of us. Thank you very much. So if you follow that formula, and I was just making it up, so it wasn't the best, but that formula is a true, a surefire way to make sure that you leave a great response that makes you look awesome. So when somebody else is coming through here looking at the response, they're going to see that and they'll be like, wow, this firm actually takes care of their customers, and it's going to negate the negative review. And then on top of that, a lot of times people will actually contact you. Well, not a lot of times. I say maybe like 10% of the time people are going to contact you. And when they do, you can usually turn it into a 1-star review. But worst case scenario, what's going to happen is all those tens of thousands of people that are going to see that review in the coming weeks and months and years, they're going to see how you handled it, and you're going to look great. Now, if they respond again aggressively, then all you want to do is just say, thank you for your response. Please contact us so we can discuss further, and leave it at that, right? And then if they respond again, don't respond, because there's a saying, the third time's the harm, right? Don't respond. Don't get into a public arguing match with a reviewer. You've done your part, and you've tried twice to have them contact you. That's all you need to do. And now the last thing, like I said, the easiest way to remove negative reviews that we have seen, which is awesome, is literally just reach out to the client and say, hey, what's going on? What's the problem? How can we help you? How can we fix this problem? Right? That's what Dan Newland does. And he gets like all the 5-star, he gets all of his 1-star reviews removed, practically all of them, simply by reaching out and having a conversation and, working through it. So hopefully this has given you some insight into how you can best handle negative reviews, 1-star reviews, should you get one. They are not the end of the world. They're actually necessary to growing your law firm, and they're an important part of it, So, and it's just something that as you keep going, you're going to, as you grow and continue to get clients, you're going to get negative reviews. Nobody out there has a perfect, nobody out there is perfect all the time, right? Your law firm is run by people. Additionally, your law firm is run by people that you can't supervise 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, right? So it's very, very important that you understand that negative reviews are going to happen. They're not to be feared. But when you do get them, you need to understand how to handle them. And the most important thing you can do is make them irrelevant by just getting lots and lots and lots of 5-star reviews. So I hope this was helpful. Again, make sure to grab your tickets for the New Me 2023 boot camp, which is going to be happening December 14th, 15th, and 16th. We've already got Rex Paris confirmed. He is a personal injury lawyer. Let me see if I can go up higher. There we go. The thing's blocking my face. He's personal injury lawyer, $1.9 billion in settlements. He's going to teach you how to get the maximum value from your cases, how to do all that stuff, right? He's a human encyclopedia. He's a huge advertiser. So he's going to teach you how to get more, maximize the value of your cases. He's going to teach you how to get more cases, how to run a law firm that is capable of getting almost $2 billion in verdicts and settlements. And he's just one of many, many speakers that we have not even announced yet. So it's going to be absolutely awesome. Somebody says, I signed up, but I couldn't get past the credit card. I'll try again later today. Great session. Thank you, Andy. You're welcome. All right, guys. Well, yeah, make sure to try again. And actually, if you have an issue and it's not working, send me an email, andy@smbteam.com. And my team will be able to help you out also. So anyway, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. And we will talk to you soon. Talk to you later.